What's happening, guys? Got some sad news. We've had our first casualty with this roll-up door. Um, I have a light that overhangs the outside of the door on the shop, and obviously it attracts a lot of insects. Well, with it attracting insects, it also attracts frogs. And needless to say, that well, we'll just put it this way: a frog got trapped, and it ended up getting squished. And the unpleasant part about it is that it didn't kill the frog, but it sort of messed it up big time. We'll just say, I'm not gonna get graphic. I will say that I did do the honorable right thing by putting the frog out of its misery, because it would have just died, because I'm sure it had some internal injuries. That's the only problem with this door, is that when it rolls up so tight that anything that gets in between the little bars and loops or whatever, it's goner. If whether it be your fingers or a small animal or creature. But that's not the main topic for this. I just want to say this, and we're gonna go over these couple of topics very fast. But before I get into that, as far as the frog is concerned, I've taken a little fella and I've wrapped him up in an old cloth of I had out here. It's like an old rag, but I mean they're basically old T-shirts that have been donated by various whomevers, and they get sent to a company. They get chopped up into pieces to be made into rags, and you can buy boxes of rags for a couple of bucks. And I've taken him, I've put him in the rag, and I've wrapped him up. And when I get done doing this video, I'm gonna go find somewhere for me to go dig a small hole and bury him. Then anyway, let me light this real fast, and we'll get on with the topics. Turn this fan down a notch or two, should I say. Okay. First topic. As far as this whole, I've seen post after post after post after post after post of people talking about the whole Confederate flag and its heritage, and so on and so forth. And honestly, it is heritage, but it was used in the wrong way to create hate. And now that time has changed, and that people who considered it to be a hate item type item have pretty much condemned it useless, and they now want to erase history by banning the flag off of everything from school lunch boxes, down to taking the flag off the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard. I'll go ahead and admit it, I'm no big history person anyway, and nor do I care, to be honest with you. I don't give a damn about what happened way back when, because you know what? That was then, and this is now. And unfortunately, with this being now, it has created a lot of shit. Not only on one side, but on both sides. Here it is, you have, certain whites and blacks standing up and representing this flag. It's an item. It's just an item. You can't erase the history because of the item. The item didn't make the history. The people who lived it, who served it, who did this, who did that, they're the ones who made the history, not the item itself. On a second note, you have the Black Panthers and black people who hate white people and whomever else who are solely against anything that had happened or that would happen to any white people, who completely, absolutely despise them with a passion, who would rather see all, this planet become just nothing but a black planet and there'd be no white people at all. Sad to say, but true. You have to look at it in both hands. What happened down in South Carolina with the boy shooting the people was wrong. He was a white kid, who hated America, who hated black people. But however, he went to a black church. Obviously not to study, not to hear what the preacher had to say, but he went and he took innocent lives that can, never be replaced. The memories are still there, but the lives will never be replaced. And, all of a sudden, because of the situation and where it happened at, as far as, was it Charleston, South Carolina? With it being in that situation, that area, the South was very strong from South Carolina down. And I believe, to be right, straight up honest with you, I went to South Carolina once. Well, I take that back, I've gone twice. The first time I went to Myrtle Beach. Wasn't too bad, but wasn't what I expected it from all the hype that I had been given by other people. And the last time I went was to Bonneau, South Carolina, to pick up a console for my truck. And the second time me going, when I went through where all the little towns that I went through, that was the craziest place that I have ever been in my life. You ever felt like you're an outcast, even though you're only from one state away? That's how I felt. The people there, the towns, the way they look at you, the way they drove when they went past you, it's just all surreal, It was almost like as if, say you were a white nerdy kid and you walked into a straight up Mexican mafia style neighborhood where there's vatos everywhere, and they're just straight up gangbangers, nothing more, nothing less. The kid wouldn't stand 5 minutes, if even that, in that neighborhood. That's kind of the feeling that you get. Do I find it to be a racist state? Somewhat. Not against me, other than the fact of me being an outsider and me, obviously me having a North Carolina tag and a South Carolina state. Now I'm not saying that it's against all South Carolinians, because they're not all the same. However, the towns that I went through, I hardly saw any black people in, and it was a lot of lots and lots and lots of the what I would really consider the real hillbillies. That was a hell of a ride, let me tell you. I was ready to get there, get what I had to get, and get the hell away. I keep looking back because I got this rag with this frog in it, and I'm hoping that me. I'm not gonna say what I did, and because it hurt me more than it would hurt to be that frog. I'm sure, as far as what I had to do, and I tried to do it fast, that way it'd be over with. And the first time that I tried to do it, it was not successful. The frog was strong. Let me just tell you that. It didn't want to go down. But like I said, I'd rather try to do it humanely than to sit there and watch the little fella suffer. But I keep looking back to make sure I don't see the cloth moving. The way I ain't got to go and do it again. I don't like doing that kind of stuff to no living creature at all. I had to put a cat down one time. It was a kitten, actually. And I'm not the one who did it, my uncle had to. The cat had gotten hit by something or mauled by a dog, I don't know, but its jaw was dislocated and twisted halfway around its face. And, I didn't want to see the cat die because I knew there was really nothing that could be done. I mean, you could forcefully try to feed it, but, with like a syringe or whatever. But, I mean, the cat would have been impossible for the cat to have ever had eaten on its own. So, and it would never have eaten solid foods the way it was disfigured. So I had to get my uncle to come and put it down, and he ended up shooting the cat with like a .22 pistol. And I buried the cat in a shoebox. But anyway, like I said, enough of that. Try to get off of the negative subject. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure the little guy wasn't still kicking, because I'd hate to have to go do it again. But anyway, the next subject may piss some people off, but honestly, I'm kind of sick and tired of it. Honestly, it's one thing to think that you're improving something and you're making it cool, and you're gonna get a bunch of chicks and whatever, But let me just enlighten you, if you will. I'm gonna put a video right here, and this is what I like to see that's loud. And when I mean loud, I'm talking about you can hear it from damn near a mile away. Loud. Okay? And in this hand, video is gonna be right about here. We're gonna put in the straight pipe F-150, Silverado, Dodge, what have you. That sounds like complete shit. Okay. Now, the difference between these two is that you have a race car. A race car that tries to gain as much horsepower as possible and needs all the needs the exhaust piping to be as restrictive as possible, because it needs to, all the exhaust needs to be able to flow fast. You've got a lot of fumes, and a lot of different gases, and a lot of different shit coming out of this exhaust pipe. You've got fuel, you've got nitrous fumes, whatever. And on your straight pipe piece of shit, you have you're eliminating the back pressure that was there by factory, and you're doing nothing but running the engine into the ground. The tuning of the exhaust on said vehicles, said trucks, so on and so forth, if you were to alter it in such a way that you did not put it back, let's just say this. Let's say you had a 5.7 350 V8 block engine, whatever. Excuse me. And you bought a set of headers for it, a set of fast flow cats or high flow cats, whichever you want to call them. Your boiler muffler, your Flowmaster muffler, your there's all different kinds, and whether it be Headman headers, hooker headers, there's quite a few out there. There's many, But anyway, you've put a set of headers, and you keep the tubing the same exact size. You want the tubing to be the same exact size as the ports that's coming out of the heads. You don't want them to be bigger. You want them to be smaller, or the same size, should I say. And you want the flow to continue out. You know what I mean? And, if you make it less restrictive, obviously by putting a set of headers on it, and by putting the high flow cats, by putting your Flowmaster 40 mufflers, or your Super 10s, or whatever you decide to put on it, it's going to sound good. It's going to be, a deep tone. It's going to be loud. But it's not going to sound like you're got a groundhog in a fucking big ass soup can. You know what I mean? It's not going to be sitting, and sounding like complete trash. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand it. And, a lot of you guys now are starting to do the squatting trend, where the truck sits like this, and you got your headlights facing straight up into the heavens. How in the fuck can you see the damn road? I mean, really, honestly. I'm gonna put a picture here of original squatter, and the reason why it squats. It's made that way for a purpose, for a reason. And all of it, everything on the truck is still functional. But however, you take a truck and you have raised the front end up as high as it'll go, or as high as you can get it, and you've let the back end down as far as you can get it, you've thrown the truck's center of gravity way the hell off. Even if you had lifted it, you'd still be better off than you would if you squatted it. Squatting absolutely serves no purpose whatsoever with these trucks, because they're stock. They are stock. They're stock trucks. You can't do the same shit with a stock truck that you can like a Baja truck per se, which is what said picture should have been, or will be, or whatever. There's no sense in it. Then you go and you take the stock rims and you throw the biggest fucking tire you can find to put on these damn rims, mud tires, all-terrains, whatever, what have you. And then you want to cut out the front bumper, and you want to cut the fenders, and you want to do this, and you want to do that. Don't you realize that you're ruining the ball joints, the upper and lower ball joints? Your tires are probably rubbing the control arms. They're probably rubbing the lower control arms. They're probably rubbing the frame. Not only are you tearing the tire out of hell, you're just basically ruining the truck. And yet 9 times out of 10, the kids that I see doing it are young. They stay at home with their parents. And somebody else is flipping the bill. I've got a guy who comes up there to, the shop on occasion, probably once every month, if not twice, and usually he gets his tires rotated or an oil change. Well, the truck looks good for what it is, and as far as I can tell, the tires aren't scrubbing on it. They're not doing anything like they shouldn't be doing. But I mean, you go and you spend, $1,000, $1,200, $1,300 on a set of tires, if not more, because I'm sure the bigger the tire and the name brand makes a difference. If you take a mud tire per se, and you're constantly driving on the highway, and you have it lifted, you've yet to go get an alignment, you're wearing the tires fast, really fast, and eventually they're going to be useless, and you're going to have to buy a new set faster than you would if you just kept a set of street tires on it. Now, see, I've got a set of 22s on mine. I've got 22-inch rims on mine with a 285 45 R22 tire. And at the moment, I've got, I want to say it's three Bridgestones and one Firestone, I think. Well, all four of those are going to eventually come off, whether it be next week or the week after. And I'm replacing them with what I could afford, which is Windrun 285 45 R22 tires. They're street tires. The truck stays on the street. It doesn't stay on the road. It doesn't go off-road. It doesn't go in the mud. And I drive it pretty much anywhere I want to go. All in all, I'm just saying this. You kids have got to learn and understand something. Trucks don't last forever. Nor do people. And if you consistently want to spend money on the vehicle and just tear it down, just tear it up, tear it all to pieces, you're going to have to keep putting more money and more money and more money and more money into it. Everything on my truck is functional right now. That came by factory is functional, minus the air conditioning. That is it. If I could ever find out where the fuck this damn pinhole or large hole, golf ball, hell, even fucking baseball, football, soccer ball, basketball size hole is, whatever's wrong with it will get replaced. And then I'll have my air conditioning working again. And it won't be leaking no ways as bad as it does. Because right now you put Freon in it, or refrigerant, whatever you want to call it, and within 24 to 48 hours the shit pours right back out. It's going into the atmosphere and it's just causing shit. Well, I got lucky this last time that Freon was put in it because I had to pay for it because they felt bad that 2 pounds of Freon had just escaped into the atmosphere. I mean, you know, anytime something goes wrong with my truck, I try to get the shit fixed. I've been dealing now without air conditioning for the past 4 years. And have now just able to try to start getting things straightened out on it because every other thing that has happened has popped up and gotten all in my damn face. I mean, you think about it. This item right here, if I'd gone to the Chevrolet place and paid for it there, would have costed me, see that? That there would have costed me $65. And by the good God of grace, or grace of God, should I say, it didn't cost me that. It only cost me like $55 getting it through who I work for. So you're talking like $10 less, and that, you know, that's an original product. But anyway, you know, I'm not trying to piss anybody off no more than I got to. I mean, I understand the guys want to have fun, they want to spend money, they want to try to pick up chicks and shit like that. But you've got your right ways of going about it and the wrong ways. And I'm sorry, but those ways, as far as the loud ass exhaust and squatting, nah, it ain't it, man. And if you got girls wanting you because of what you drive, I'm sorry, man, but you got a bunch of gold diggers wanting to fuck with you. That shit just don't jive, man. You got to find you a girl who wants you for you instead of wanting you for what the hell, you know, wanting you for what you've got. Because if that's the case, your priorities and hers is all in the wrong box. But that is Life Lessons by J. May. That's pretty much all I got to say about the situation. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already. And Y'all have a good night. Later.